Now Tayaisa Omujenyi, I think one of the most beautiful girls Omurumbara. I don't know whether she's now a girl or a woman, but I know she's among the most beautiful girls Omurumbara.
Meanwhile, Tarhondisha is his name, not that there is no other MWINE. Hey, actually, you gave me my first outing in Barat.
Which year was that? If a man is not a Catholic, should forget. Now, the other day, you are now dating a pastor.
First of all, the journey started with me, not with the man.
Because church, and pastors, respect it kubahereza kugira ngo now when you become muchara musumba, there are certain things now you start tiptoeing, you can't. How is it? How is the life?
Life there is good. Life is fun.
Like, as in married to a musumba.
Yes, it's fun because nothing changes. So I see him and he was so eloquent in the way he speaks and what. Then I told my friend, I can marry that one. And then we laughed about it. Of course, I was a good capture.
So you guys went, first wait, you guys went to church to admire men. And you at one time you thought about committing suicide?
One time? A lot of times, but remember I have a daughter. So I interacted with people, nashanga bantu baruwasi, nashanga, nyona algona atelera by the grace of God. Natandika relationship endi ijo kachenyit.
Ryaro mu COVID.
What is
ya COVID ninyi. Touch Media Africa. Amazina nabanyita MWINE BEJUURA Tarondijo. Kandi erizoba ninyo nkwine ekindi na Tayaisa Omujenyi, I think one of the most beautiful girls Omurumbara. I don't know whether she's now a girl or a woman, but I know she's among the most beautiful girls Omurumbara, and she's my friend, and Nomuchara Musumba. She's married to a pastor, and I've always wanted to know the life of the wives of pastors and what, because for me I'm not much of a. So nyenda tugambire who is she, amazinage abashoborere. For me, I know her as a TikToker, as a, jewelry lady, but she's here to tell us who she is, and twakwachira nyama.
Nye nachara sebo MWINE BEJUURA Tarhondisha. Meanwhile, Tarhondisha is his name, not that there is no other MWINE BEJUURA.
That name has always had issues with me.
MWINE BEJUURA Tarhondisha, and they're like, there is no other MWINE BEJUURA. Yeah, nashemerwa kuija wabare kuntayaisa. I'm very excited and expectant. Ngenda ko ebitora gani.
Amazina gawe tugambe amazina.
Nankunda Petronyllah Mrs. Ongei Mungu. Yeah, mwizukuru wa Rwangoga. What else?
TikToker.
Yeah, TikToker, omubazizi wanyu, the queen of DIY.
Twakwachira. Wabare kuija kutitayiraho. Kandi binda kubuze otugaruke motakaje otebye tinkubimanya.
You know me, I'm very honest. So many ngamba nebintine kugamba mutaja ine kajejana.
Okay. Nashemerwa mnonga Tayaisa on Touch Media Africa.
How are you? Long time?
Yeah, it's been a while. I'm okay.
Kafirwe mbaga yanje.
Na it's nichimwachi ebyabanza kundeto mu, Abanza tugambire tutakagera mbaga because nyenda kutekorana. Ati nokora ki Omurumbara ntuchimanya ngorya or TikToker, content creator. Numabeta?
But am I still a content creator? I don't know.
Ati tugambire
I'm a TikToker. We are all TikTokers. As long as you have an app, knows the way you really, it's not special to be a TikToker. I'm also a TikToker like any other. Ndio mbazizi abinzi mbabazirire omwe muri mbarra numumanya. I work for a certain bridal shop ninjeka abagore.
Tiyawe no okora omuntu. Yawe it's okay kuhereza akarango ukatugambira aho rukorra
anje kongana n'akarango kankahereza
ito twin ituma.
Yes, ninkora LTN Ladies Boutique. Ayo mchara tubasimwa. Ntujeka abagore ntuguze emyenda emishanana enchi ntupangisa everything. Yeah.
Okay.
Then, but I do everything creative. I like DIY. Abamwamba korire wedding cards. Abinzi numumanya. Like anything to do with art and craft, I'm there.
Ati nionekanye ya art no manu byondo gukora nanye mostly. So ati umuntu yananda kumbazira privately no chikora ninga so mu business nayo no kugira byo mu rukora ati.
No, at LTN tinkubazirayo. So I get my clients mbazire byanje. So what I do, you know my brand Nkunda Made.
Nkunda anje nyonyo njinani manyangu hati niyo rukora.
So Nkunda Made is not part of LTN. Yeah, wongo fukosa ka sente ntukenda tine katero kuna kuriya.
So Nkunda Made ati niyo ri yo briefcase.
Yes, it's a briefcase company. Nintambara nayo barahamwe orukoba nimbandwine nakuvugana nkupima.
Okay. It's atoka katurge yo omukarango kandi oyizogere ngumwanga manyawa ngukunda wanyi naona shaba nawo. Hati nyenda kubanza kutekurana. I thought you were my friend.
What is okutekurana?
Tori nyankora hari okutongana sa. No, I thought you were my friend. You know, my friend the other day called me and asked me, "Ngoya yuko buzire?" Nyantanta I'm around mbara tokundondo. Ati ningo mwana okashwera tukawabura kungambira. Ati mubuza anta watch atuno manyangu okushwera wedding is the biggest party in anyone's life. If a person you call your friend yabata kwesire obeno chimanyangu you were never friends. So now I'm wondering, of all the people I thought were my friends, it is you. How can you not? By the way, tukaturiye bakutandika kumwechi. Origendo content we are supposed to be content creator tutandikana na YouTube channel Western Jazz. Twafuna even we got more subscribers. Utaka tiro na video niyo. But what happened?
Nkabya turema. Nesubuka maruku batakatiye mu stamp really.
Yes, so I thought you were my friend.
Anyway, the thing is, card zonka zifuna nazihandika no kuzihandika, but I was in Kampala for the longest time towards my wedding. No ijuka nkakutextinga na kujantaza nyine card yawe anytime moderate. But I arrived in Mbara. Before I know it, my matron is taking me to a hotel. Before I know it, Mbanyaka Masumu naza kujantia on the D-Day mbage keijira abanywani bomushiza abanje abanje mwakore ntondo abakwana babetara bahire kandi abinzi konga bakiza abanje abinzi bakakore ntondo wotampire kandi tandaize wotampire. But I texted people and told them Arona unabe mbuza kanta kurebera tompire kandi nti wounga mbere niwe that before wedding
no ukansindikira WhatsApp wanje ngonoza kumpeza kandi hata WhatsApp uko tatire mbaga neza kubera nkayewe ene kubera ryaro kanja ngo by the way nyine wedding rene. By the way you are not
Bambi no, it's not about being a bad friend.
Kuza kureba nka days later nyunkani mangwe mbaga chiro nchitegerize kandi ndeba no posting option status. Seriously?
Mwinenye ndagaruko mchatsi zanje ndebe nantaragambire date yombaga.
It's fine. Soraki okanjira ngono iza kuba nongambira sorati. Kono jango omchate jo kono jango.
But it's not about bad friendship or what or it was about the organization and everything to cancel man. Your mind is here, your mind is checking on caterers, your mind is checking on juice, your mind is checking on PS system before you know it. No asakwe bwana bazire ba.
These days people do e-cards.
But I didn't get a chance to do. Actually, my husband did for some of his friends nakumanya nto bananye naza kunkorera musindikire list because I didn't have that.
Yes,
I sewed
ma'am,
my
so
own
now
gown.
it's- so now
So
I've
you can
already
imagine the time I had.
My husband.
Was, yeah.
So
Talk about on the left-handed.
like people always say, I can't wait to get married, and I start
I'm now,
putting it into people's
I'm
faces.
now left-handed.
My husband, this. So now you
I'm
can't
now
do anything.
left-handed. Things cause sanaburio.
Ma'am,
But anyway, it was that basically nkaba busy mutwe.
So now that I have
important.
not been there on your biggest day, I wonder where our friendship where will I know that now I confirm that we are friends. Ninga, first of all,
First,
I'm
come
not
and
even-
meet my husband.
No, first of all, I'm not even your ex.
Yeah,
Maybe
you're
I
not
thought
my-
kuruno jangu nika ex wawe okajizo ati I didn't want kunsisiro mukoro uyana.
Actually, I don't think my man knows that I have male friends.
Are you sure?
Naza kubata kuchumbanyi. Anyway, I got lost in church life. Nashanko abebo. Nashanko na bra time yo hanging out nimwe.
This is where I want us to talk about. So, Petronilla, I remember the time we talked. The first time, actually. Do you remember when we met? Do you still remember the time?
2019.
How? Do you remember how we met?
That was cyber meeting before physical.
Yeah, before physics. Okizo murumba rawa ateze bishani otindia buffalo. Anyone in Mbarara?
That's how
Yes.
it is.
Yes, that's how it is. Anyone in Mbarara?
Then how did I, but
Then
I
someone
know
tags me.
how we met is, are you not the one who added me to that group?
Before
Or anyone in
leave
Mbarara?
alone the group.
Eh.
But someone tags me and that, by the way, Mwine, you are in Mbarara, there is some nice chick here. Why don't you meet her? So I come to your inbox and like, hey, you're around in, someone told me you're around in Mbarara. Me, I didn't know you. But it was a certain WhatsApp, Facebook group. So when you zoom inbox, then okangambira where to find you. And fortunately, it was near Okonora Rahari Arugura. And then we met.
Nkani ndara, with Boma, then.
Harry.
Yeah.
Then we
Actually, you gave me my first outing in Bharat.
So, then later on, of course, we met. Twaguma chatting. Kutuganira. We talked about marriage. If a man is not a Catholic, should forget. Now, the other day, you are now dating a pastor. And you are married now to a pastor. Watoto. From Watoto Church. Totally different. So tell me, how did you convince your father? Now, your business of Catholics? I don't want to know.
First of all, the journey started with me, not with the man. It's not like I was, as a Catholic, then I met a born-again man. I first became born again, and I saw there was no problem at home. They would be like, Imwaba fenaro, Imwaba watoto, Imwaba, like it became like a joke. Yet long time we used to think, Mom, if you mentioned that you're now, even being Anglican, like if you mention that you're not a Catholic, you get. But then, somehow they welcomed it before they know it. I'm telling them I'm serving in church now. Before they know it,
so you are okay.
Pastor.
Your father is now okay.
He's now okay, very okay. I actually, my mother also sometimes goes and praise God with Pentecostal people, born again people. But
So now-
my father can never.
Now I'm wondering, you have been this, because most of us know you as this robust TikToker, omurumbara, omuchiga uri kugamba bwa.
I think you're wondering what's in
No. Ati nyebuza, because church, and pastors, respect it kubahereza, kugira ngo now when you become muchara musumba, there are certain things now you start tiptoeing, you can't. How is it? How is the life?
Life there is good. Life is fun. Like,
As in married to a musumba.
yes, it's fun because nothing changes. The only thing you have to do niwe inekwehabura nk'omuntu okamanya oti eki eki ndiyo ninkora nikihesa mukama ekitiinisa ninga tikikumuhesa ekitiinisa. Because there are things I would say on TikTok or even in my normal conversations ndabyamu nk'ekigambo which I cannot do now. Not because I'm a pastor's wife. Konka okugira nyenda kuhesa mukama ekitiinisa omu binkukora byona like in everything I do. Eki nagamba hona mukama yakikunda, eki nagamba hona bandeeba namugira nti give your life to Christ now. Nabasa kwikiriza ninga nabasa kugira tone ebigambo bwanogamba.
Previous rokota kuchimanya ngo mukama ro washoga nogamba.
Kandi nzumanya konka stana kampojiza yaryokwe. Yoko munsi. Anyway, nanye nabe ninkora nkani ndeba bishye. Nufuteka there is no harm. Banja nkongeje TikTok wakora yabaki. Nagamba
chichi. Which harm? Nka TikTok yawe yabanje kuba viral. Ekaberia eyo safari. Masho what was harm in it? Aro kagira ngwenki.
And that's why I was very big-headed, and I actually fought with my parents a lot because of that. That weekend wifing video. Nyendonga ambere from the beginning of that video to the end. Ninka heha na himura, ninga na hashwaza, ninga na korachi. But somehow my parents had an issue because of the people who are telling them, marao ya shwaza hatari ya mkutu, and they also of course felt bad and started telling me to leave. It wasn't TikTok by then. It was Facebook. TikTok Facebook. Wasn't existent. It was Facebook. They had issues with it. Because in my head I was like, what wrong have I done? What wrong have I done? But anyway, I didn't have a plan of doing any other videos. So I was like, it's on a cha.
So, but by that I've never understood why people become so concerned. Wow, TikTok adena irukangaze kugambira.
Nenugu nyenda kubagambira lizoba nenugu. The moment you do something extraordinary, something another person cannot do, because the people used to run to my parents to tell them and what. There are people who used to meet me in the corners and they'd be like, stress on Then after teething with me, they would go and text my father and they're like, vitaka video camera you get. Even old women and men, I meet them. I meet doctors. Like I go to a hospital and the doctor is like, my wife is your fan. An old doctor. My wife is your fan, so I'm also forced to be your fan. So I like your content, by the way. Then I'm like, how come my parents are different? Like, tujengwa about Dr. Bashishki, they were engineer Bashishki, they were. Why is like the old generation also likes my content apart from my parents? So sometimes your parents haven't even seen the video.
So is your husband your fan on TikTok? Was he a follower on TikTok?
Yes, he was. He was, but he didn't know it was me.
How?
So I remember we were like a month into dating. That's when he was like, oh, you're the chick. Because he doesn't speak Ruchiga. He doesn't even know Ruchiga. But people used to post, of course, on WhatsApp groups, on statuses and what. So he used to see the face speaking Ruchiga.
You mean the face
people laughing.
Dating for a month, How different are you? Because you are the same.
I can meet you and we have a conversation, have a second one, a third one, before I realize, hey, you're the guy I met at New Vision. Like, things happen. Like after, there was a time we were sharing a certain WhatsApp group and someone posted an old video of mine. That's when he was like, hey, you're the chick. I used to see these videos on group and people were laughing and I didn't understand the language. I didn't know that you were the one.
Nyonka kutekaho obutabe tutezeshano byo kuteka nanga biriya na kutekaha status people were like wareto wa TikTok.
What, they thought it was a premarital budget that wedding photo shoot.
TikTok. But now I want to understand mostly how did you decide to come church? Because one, you are a Catholic groomed girl, so staunch Catholic na nokuto ataga mbere kugira ngo akata kwenda ngo what omushija atari mukatoliki otakamuleta aha. Now how do you move from kujangu now the Catholic Church? Let me first put it aside. Mbanzo mu watoto then ntandike, you know, how did it come?
Of course uko kuba nokura ogumana realizing ebintu. How I understood things in 2019 tukwenda kubichenga hati. So with time I started looking for things that are edifying, like nashoma information enough na much, nashomechi enough na much, naza church enough na much. Do I feel better? Do I feel, have I learned something new? And the Catholic Church wasn't giving me that. I'm not saying it was.
What is it that you wanted that you thought you can't get from here?
I wanted that closeness to God. I wanted to be rebuked. Na moment kubana okore chibini worukutuma ngo nichibi konko porukwenda babanza bakugambira chi, I don't know. Like I really wanted that rebuke. Konkito bakatustera higo. As long as I go sing, nshembere, nkore penance, I'm done. Like I used not to have that personal relationship with God. Na shabesa puri, I'm reciting it 10 times this one, 10 times this one, 10 times. But at the end of the day, tinkubasa kwegambere bigambe byanje binkwenda nywe na ruhanga tukachengana. Like why do I have that ritual of doing this at a particular, actually chabenchinyita mnonge kero novena ninja. It has actually ever worked for me. But I used to be like, this thing of praying something 9 times.
Novena na wachomi mwenda in how long?
There are different novenas, some are 3 days, some others 9 days. And I'm like, onkeche chinte chokuja unshabe chinte merundu mwenda. Then ngarike yo to my sinning, to my what? Why don't I change my ways instead and have a personal relationship with God? And so that's how I.
So that
day. Then when I got an encounter with born again people.
So who took you there? There must always be, there is always someone who says, come, maybe we try this. Here we are doing okay.
It was Apostle Grace used to come to Chambogo every Tuesday. They had a campus thing, I've forgotten what it was called. But they used to visit campuses during the week. So he used to come to campus on Tuesday. And they used to meet at North Hall, like... How does Chambogo product?
Yeah, I'm a Chambogo product. I'm a product of Chambogo University.
So they used to meet that side of Unise. Yeah, now you were even close. And I was in the faculty of special needs. So I'm
Wait, I thought you have just converted.
To what?
To Nanka Pentecostal from Catholic.
No, my journey started a long time. I rise, I fall, rise, I fall.
But because when we are talking about Catholicism, if you can't be Catholic, you can't marry me. It is as recent as 2019.
Because of my parents, like following my parents, even getting born again. I used to fellowship with those guys, but I'd never ever committed. Whenever they would say, if you want to give your life to Christ, put your... I'm like, what will I tell my father? I give my life to Christ. In a certain church, he doesn't understand. I'm like, no. Like, it was always about my father. What does my father want? How does my father want things? It was always like that.
Which year was that?
But around 2013. So like they used to come, pray with us, do it. So I had a friend who was a born-again Christian. I think she used to go to Miracle Center. So like when she got a chance that fellowship was coming, we went together. She was very close to me. We went together, and I always had that. I used to love gospel music, and somehow all gospel artists were born again, almost. So like I kind of had that heart for them, that soft spot for them. That's how I ended up, my eyes getting open to them, but I kept this fear for my parents. Like, how do I tell them that I got born again? You get born again alone. And of course I would not do things for born agains. I kept on going out with my friends, but things born agains don't do. Until the time came for me.
Now let's come to, because it's because you came to Mbarokiza Muriaramu.
I came 2020, I left.
Obwire bwa
Came
COVID.
back 2021.
Uh-huh. So how do you, of all other churches, say let me go to Watoto? Because Pentecostals, they are different. Harumaba fanera bokushabira hariya nimba reba. Then there are other churches kaba pastor
Hey, Mwine, you're my friend. You've forgotten we used to fight about Fanero.
Yeah, I know. you
used
have
to
told
argue.
me how the God works for you, but I always wonder. Anyway, when it comes to things of religion,
FYI, people who are watching, one day I gave Mwine a testimony with pictures of something God healed me from. And Mwine called them filters. He was like, ahokataho filter kota zimbra novi.
no, they are filters actually.
I
still, anyway,
They were not.
the point is, we might not go for not beyond into religion because we understand it differently. I understand it differently. I'm not much of the mind of it.
You were asking how I got
So
to
now the day you decided to go to Katandika church ya Katambara, area Bishop Nathani, churches nyinjo ma roba pastors winjo ira tumwine. Why do you decide to go to Watoto?
I used to go to Fanero before, and where we used to meet in Mbara, we used to just stream the services. Konga, have you ever been in a place, and I'm not saying Fanero is bad, I can't but you be in a place and you feel like I used to go there on Thursdays for fellowship, and I'm like, if you've been to the Fanero in Kampala, this one here wasn't giving. They hadn't given them a church. Then we are at Global. Then we are streaming
they
on
are
the
still
screen.
there in Tahan in Chirakuri.
Like there, we are streaming. So one day, a friend of mine, I was telling her about how she used to go to Watoto. She wasn't even that born again, but she used to like going to church on Sunday. So I tell her about our predicament. I'm like, man, for us we have to stream. Like there's no physical pastor to preach to us or something. It's like the gospel has to come from strictly one person.
Church was streaming Kampala.
We used to stream what Apostle Grace is preaching is what we get.
There is no close pastor here.
I don't know now. Maybe things changed. But those days we used to stream. What Apostle Grace is preaching in Kampala is what we get here. So this chick is like, you can come go to Watoto. Then I'm like, Mpozi Watoto came to Mbara. I remember I was excited when they said Watoto was coming to Mbara because I didn't even know Fanero was in Mbara. But somehow it skipped my mind now. So, Vanjarango Nankanjara to Namanya, we who Tayaya Watoto, and we see. I get to Watoto and things are nice. People are welcoming you. The pastor is laughing with you. For the years I had been in Fanero, because I think I'm among the pioneers of Fanero. We started like in 2014. 2014, I think. At National Theatre. No, not National Theatre. Theatre La Bonita. Those days. I'd never, ever, ever been in contact with Apostle Grace. Like physically say hi to him.
We are queering.
But that day he healed me, it was he didn't heal me. God healed me through him maybe. It was a general prayer. And he was like, I see people with tumors, swellings, what? Touch where the tumor is. And I touched and I got healed. I was like, what? I was like, if I testify, people will think this guy has paid me. But indeed, I got my healing from there. So I go to Watoto, and after the service, the pastor is saying hi to us. I was like, wow, this is nice. I came the second time. Then the third time in Zili and Kwato. Like it was as if the guy stood and preached about me alone. And now the, what do they call it? Conviction started. It was a quite simple and feeling. It was a barana banyano and we are in the wrong place. We should one day about like the discomfort started with everything that is, I would call sinful. Were
you dating anyone by then?
No, I didn't have a boyfriend.
Ninga you went to, because most of my friends mama jangu tuzomu church hari ebidemo. So ninga ni okazomu church
No,
to
by
find
the way,
a
the
man.
time that, let me tell you something. The first time I went to that church, to Watoto, I saw my husband leading service. Like the people who host service, these people will be like, welcome to Watoto Church, and when service is starting. So I see him, and he was so eloquent in the way he speaks and what. Then I told my friend, I can marry that one. And then we laughed about it. Of course, I was a good capture of commenting about men when they pass. Hey, that man is handsome. Hey, that lady is handsome. Is beautiful. So
the first time kumureba wajo
first time kumureba wajo that
nongenda mulya.
Married twasheka. Adi hope stay go ni home church, and we laughed about it. Chaho. Twajin.
So you guys went, well, first wait, you guys went to church to admire men. You continue, I tell us a story.
People don't go to church to admire men. Konka wahirwa kamushanga yoka mkunda. Ni wakakunda. Konka washanga that every time you go there, you know what you're not admiring, you know what you're not there, you know there's a problem with you. You haven't gotten delivered yet.
So now what happened?
Who was handsome at church, who was beautiful at church, you have a problem. So now hikayo second time, third time, then I think it was like the fourth time Pastor GT preached. We used to be bored on Sunday, like kuchurga church, tokuzakora chi ushitamo mukaha kushitamera. So my friend visited me. Namjantu no manya teleka tuze hariya wa Ambrose tushitamo. She was actually from Kampala, no Ambrose akata kwamanya, but I was staying in Kakoba near his
Ambrose akabara.
Kashitokuma akabanza yawo ninga city bar, then
before he moved
to the other forest.
And when
So I tell my friend there is some thing in the forest. Let's go to the forest and chill and talk. So we go to that forest, and as I was seated, I just felt like the pastor, who I left in church, was seated there asking me, is this the right thing to do? Is this how you want to live your life? I was like why now? In this moment? So of course I had gone to Pastor Tom's church a couple of times, and he had said, if you get your pastor in a vision, like your spiritual leader, a pastor, a politician, like maybe your MP comes to visit you in a dream or in a vision, that is God bringing you a message directly. So I was like, okay, I think now is my time. I just became uncomfortable and told my friend, you know what, let's go home. And I even became rude to her when she started telling me, Bichi, I'm still having fun.
You guys were drinking something?
Yeah. I'm like, like I'm leaving. I remember my last bottle very well. I told her, I'm leaving you here if you're not going. They bring me the bill. It was really very huge. I was like, yeah, who drank all this? But I even like immediately paid, and I'm like, let's leave this place. I went back home. I cried and cried and cried. Like I was tired of life. I kept on saying, I'm tired of life, but maybe I was tired of the life I was living, but not life literally. And that's how I got born again.
Okay. So because I want to
and stayed in Watoto forever.
You stayed in Watoto. Now you have your friends, you are going to church every Sunday. Maybe you are both admiring the man. Now how you come from now we are admiring to talking to him. That moment, who approached the other, and when did it come?
He did. You know, if you, I
okay,
think you should visit Watoto. No, Watoto is like a family. Like everyone wants to know what is in the other one's life. Are you okay? Like you leave service, everyone wants to hug you, wants to know how you're doing. So it always stopped there. Then time came, we had a village tour. Watoto has children's homes, like where they take care of children from. Like very many homes. Like a home has like 8 children. And you can imagine there are over 100 homes in a village. So we had a village tour. There is one in Mitiana. That's where we were going.
From Bara to Mitiana?
Yeah. All campuses were going to visit that particular home. When it's a visit, we visit one home, all campuses. The people in Boyogere downtown where they all visit at once. So we were going to that place. We reached Masaka. He went in a different van. I was also in a different... I was in a drone, he was in a coaster. So we leave, we reach Masaka, that place where Global parks and you take a short call and what. And then he gets out. I also, like, I had gotten out, of course, to get something to eat. He gives me a hug. I'm like, for a person, you've never talked to me directly. Like, why are you hugging me like this? So we are going back to our vehicles. He hugs me again. I'm like...
Out of nowhere, he just comes with hugs. Guys, not serious. I'm like, what's wrong with this guy? He just comes. Yeah.
But I want to tell you that I know that was the day I realized actually this guy also likes me. Remember, I had made the other comment. This one I can marry. So it started from there. We reached the villages. So they distribute us. We used to pick papers randomly.
So no, from that one you ninga kakutwara motoka.
So he went back to his coaster. I went back to my drone. But that drone, I was very tall and like the seats were pressing my knees. So we were coming back. The moment I complained like this, our pastor was also putting a pass. He was like, you go to the coaster. I was like, you go to the coaster. Then I'm like, I don't think I have a seat there. He was like, no, talk to Chris. Chris is my husband. He's like, talk to Chris, he'll give you a seat. I'm like, okay. And I go to the coaster.
And talk to Chris.
Talk to him. I remember at some point he forgot and held my arm. And then did this, like, where am I holding this chick? But in my head, I knew. You also like me. And that's how things started. We kept on. Anyway, in the process of going to the village, we had to pay through someone. Then I call that person, and somehow they're talking to another person. I'm on the phone. Hello. And then I tell the chick who gave me the number that these people are not serious. I'm not getting any response. And they gave me my husband's number. They're like, you call that one, he'll help you. So the moment he saved my number like this to add me to the group of people who are going, he saw my dipping. I have white hair. I had white hair by that time.
Hey, I remember that.
I was like, this is the chick. I remember he texted me like, so you're the one. Hi, Petronyllah. Like once again, he started greeting me. Then we started talking from there. One thing led to another, and here we are, husband and wife.
How long did it take?
5 months.
So in 5 months you dated and got married?
No,
but some of us
proposed after 5 months. We got married after 6 more months.
So you don't need to date 10 years or 5 years or 3 years
for you to know a person.
To know a person?
No.
Did you know him very well?
Because you know the person 8 years and still break up. Wastage of years.
So now you are... So now, because people, they respect Basumba so much. Now, these people that you are going to church with as Bades, now they are respecting a pastor. Now you are the pastor's wife.
Those are not the kind.
They give you the kind of respect. Ninga. Now the Bhakti Mukamusumba. Where are your friends?
As I told you, nothing has changed. The same way the other pastor I told you finished preaching and came and bongad on me and hugged us, and I was like, huh? Now that's how the Watoto pastors are. Very down to earth. And he's not like the other pastor. He's a youth pastor. Like, he coordinates the youth.
Okay, the cat is on Kachum.
People be telling me, Charam Sumba. I'll never.
The cat is on Kachum Kahumoro, then to Garuke. Because I live in Tvinjami Kwenda Kubuza, a picture person. No. I mean. Omulebe witukuke mu kahumuro turi kuza mu kahumuro na ndio nimbuza omukyara pastor life ya pastor respect ya kutunga because ninde abantu there is a respect ya kwamba heza pastor most especially abishiki so banywani bawe hatukuwabire mu ka pastor respect yahinduka you know hatine koko aho kora babeyeraho you know tugambe life elietazi between you your friends and you know the pastor and the life that you lead now.
For me it's anyway kurga kare ni everything amunonga nakuna mbugana muntu yanja a TikTok wanje kando kuyarganka like you want to be normal hata bya mchara pastor kubya ije ni of course nkanta kumangu it's a big deal because my man doesn't preach on the main pulpit. He's a youth person so na preaching aside there teenagers na history makers na bari ya campus that age so nkanje workshop it's not a big deal. Konkano bakwereka ngo bambuga na mchara msumba akushango oyemerire nanda kutega katebe like that kind of thing is there
so the
that I will never get used to. Then for my personal friends whenever they have problems they run to me.
So now you have become
people forget that I also have normal problems in marriage like any other person. Whatever yakusindisha yakuyanka yakutere smooth nyobufumbo atofumbo kabwaya Abinyo uzanyowe nyoma zera miezi eshatu. But of course they know you're a pastor's wife. Roles of pastor's wives are usually counseling. So when ana manyangwa hombwenu ni wera mheleze bitabe byara ashome ni wera mheleze bishimwe and sometimes you know me I'm very emotional. Omwemereza advice from my emotional part of life of like my point of view. Like it's really kind of disturbing, but at the same time the opportunity to serve God through that, it's also a ministry of its own. No shanga you're fixing things here and there, you get to answer the big questions when you sit with the youth, because of course girls approach me being my husband is there Musumba. And they can't approach him with the big questions, so they
so
somehow come to
those
me.
hard questions now come to you.
Yeah, they come to me and I feel elated getting to solve problems of the little girl, walking through life with them. So
is there
the respect I'll never get used to it.
But
or why is it surfacey? Or when was kushanga abantu bakwireza respect wabo ruho nkabarga bakuja.
Okay, being a Musumba's wife, is there a stipend that comes with it? Like, because Kokor First Lady, there is supposed to be some money paid to you. So now that you're a Musumba's wife, is there a package specifically for?
No, not at all, unless you work with the church directly. Like church maybe your husband's assistant.
Yeah, but now you see,
they start.
Now you are saying
right
people
now,
are coming to you for,
now,
for consultants.
The assistance I offer is
no corrigur
ministry. Corrigur watch manya tinko za normal mbabazi. But if they walk up one day and they're like, we want you to be an administrator, we want you to take up this office, then they will pay me. Yeah, because the ministry is very big, the jobs can be there sometimes, and they can decide to look around and choose me and give me the job. But for now, no.
So after marrying the pastor, I've seen your TikToks, TikTok. Is it your own doing? Ninga pastor akakulimitinga, ninga pastor is okay with whatever you want to do, it is you.
Actually, me reducing my TikToks was way before getting married. Way before getting married, I think it was a thing to do with my salvation. I kind of first took that journey. Beshi we wararoa Pastor Tom weeks ibiri nonda kuzokora mu compound ya Pastor Tom tarajokore yo warga yorhire wiza wa yehumzomere mbara. Then like I first took off a journey to seek God, understand God. Actually right now I'm in a very good place and I'm going to start afresh, like never before. Content in mutwe. But I think I needed the right time to come back.
But the pastor is okay with you.
Abamwe babebasemerirwe batangiye kunyeta one hit wonder. Now I'm the one who understands what one hit wonders go through. Omwana nabaryo ko ebintu biriyo nimuteganisa ryo muri za depression nakikuno bayomba jankuonka kesho ngoro kayatire kamwe akahuma. Yeah, so I'm coming back.
Wagamba depression it is over to afuna makuru ga Liam Payne. You know Liam Payne? He's a singer in One Direction group.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died. He hana ntuchiro mu room abari mu Buenos Aires, mu Argentina. Yeah, go mu room 3rd floor iterance yeah. The singer in One Direction.
What?
Yeah.
The people we think are successful and hitting it in life.
Exactly. That is why I wanted to understand. There was a time when we were talking, and you told me about your struggles with depression. I don't know whether most people understand that you have been through that, that depression part. Because I remember when we met, you can tell the story ya Sunday. I don't know whether you can tell people about that story, about depression. Because most people, like for me, I used to look at you. You're one of the most beautiful girls around, and we fear to even talk to you. I'm like, go.
Me, Haza. You people have a visual impairment.
We don't have a visual impairment. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. But now, when I got to know you, and then you told me a story about Sunday,
you actually came into my life during that period when I was struggling with depression.
What exactly happened?
I've even never taken time to research about those things, but I was struggling with anxiety. Because depression is a word in general, I don't know. But I was struggling with mostly anxiety. Then when I bring it to the spiritual world, it was unforgiveness and bitterness and I don't know. Do you know it can also get you depressed? No,
I want. If you are free, you tell us the details exactly what because people do not understand.
What got me there? What got me there is I was dating a certain successful man, and the relationship was really good. Everyone knew he's a very difficult man, but somehow I'm the one who used to handle him, and it was very easy to handle that man. So everyone expected us to get married. Even him himself. He woke up one day and he told me, "Go this Christmas. We are going to the village. Go tell your parents that I'm coming for a visit. First of all, secondly, we are doing a kuchala after it." I was excited. I dated this guy for like 2 years. I was like, now this is it.
This is it.
Finally, what's the
okuba butebe njokuba butebe kanisa bweshongoro kubano babutere wano shohora abagizire
bana tumbwenu tchahika
oguni nyoko.
So I called my brother. I'm like, no maeta wow. So and so aliona ijomuka. My brother was so happy. My brother used to hate, he's late now, but he hated my suitors.
The other one who died in accident.
He hated my suitors. There's a thing with brothers and boyfriends. But somehow he liked this guy. Tukasente azakasente ke kakaka nomu akukurebera omushiija karebe kaje yakonka katari akokwizo kajotumwirugazeme katari ako. But he was really okay, like at his age akad stable. So we go to Nyarushanje, the guy comes nzarwa anagambo wabo njendo wabo ntaya wabo bankunda witu bamkunda. So now I was set on a journey. You know, like, no tamburoti. Or come out in Trianja, Twargaria, Chininza, Hati, can focus in Garia, Janjo to Yon Pombeka, and what? You're getting him contacts, he's struggling with this, you're doing this. When Amagaraga gona to Gatirari, you know what it means for a person to say, I now want to marry you. no wakwata amagara gewe wagateeka around yours because hata naateekateekye rimwe babiri ekyo naakukikunda. If we are planning a wedding, will he like this, will he? Generally my life rotated around him. So tusitye obwire aija omuka arugayo tugaruka Kampala hati batandika kumbuuza date y'okukyara. Atugira ngu omu March ehika. Which date in March? Ati nyowe mureke kunteeka pressure.
Arugambira sho abawanyu.
Arugambira nyowe ngambira abawitu batamuteeka pressure.
Abawanyu bakaba babuuza which date omubuuza
hata nanyeruyari hata nkaba mami omushango bakaba bakozire gwo omuntu abaze ngu naija omu March. So tukuterereze ryari waze ngu naija omu March when are you coming? Ati mutakanteeka pressure. Dada tukutoraza omu Easter because Catholics during Easter they don't do functions. So tukutoraza omu Easter and you will have to hold until after Easter. Nanyenzera nti maybe we shall be buying time. But if they give you a date after Easter, take pressure. The guy started changing. Before I know it, he has other women. Before I know it, he's moving out with boys. They're coming back at 6 a.m. Before I know it, like things changed and changed and changed and changed. Until one day he told me, you know what? Before we get married, you first get pregnant. I was like, I've touched this fire before I know it. I was like, no. And he was very serious. He was very serious. He was like, what a disaster. Now in my head, I'm like, okay, you had set the date for April. They've pushed to April. So you want me to first get pregnant. I was like,
Ninga, he was
that
also
means now it's 9 months ahead. Maybe he has cold feet and what. And we talked about it and the guy was serious. And I had to move. You know, it's going to be easy to move on and what. But remember, you had formed a group for kuchala. Otire hobwishti obugambire kales marajware. You have to go back and explain to those ones. Abobire wagambire otesha hayona, by the way. Abobe wagambire otesha hayona hate chintu otunstereza. You have to go back and explain to them. Now that's why I got the hassle. I remember I walked on foot from Nigeria up to Sonde in Tachumanyet. I was house hunting. So the moment those things happened, he was like, actually, she aunties and now why are you hustling? Company in Korabu hustle printing and what? And just now why are you hustling? I make enough money. Sit here in my home and do what? and I take care of you. It's not like you're quitting a job. It is you can still go back to your was after. At you move in. I move in. So I had to move out when I was house hunting in Katambara from Nigeria, Naishanga. Before I know it, Naishanga Swon. Now I had a friend who was staying in Sonde. Now I'm there. Are you home? I'm home. Then she was going to Dubai. Ambuza at Anjara Kandiani in Dubai. At why are you rushing to get a house now? At Garumunji until I come back, then you can start paying rent and getting a house. Yeah, she's still my best friend up to now. So now is that thing off?
It's okay.
It is. So I go to Sonde, I be in that girl's house, she goes to Dubai. to communicating. So she was like the only person who I used to talk to, plus the people on WhatsApp. Then it was Big Brother Niger time. Now the only company I had was the people I used to wake up in the morning, watch them exercise with them, take breakfast with them. Then breakfast over on Bajirio and then in Karanch. Take breakfast, of course, at our no man when Mkashaita Nozakashesh, Ndide Nimbareo. I start the day with them. Then I used to have a border guy that used to deliver things I want. Mkaanta shohora. The guy would bring, I remember I used to eat Irish pork. Then one day a friend comes to visit. Like Ngukukwanogamano Muntakaza Konkwara. Ntamin Sunday. So when she came with weed.
Weed. Okora tasting your before?
No, I had not. I had, but accidentally. Like I had taken it in a drink and people wanted to just see my reaction after taking it. That was my first and last experience. Now this time around, a friend brings it first hand. She first came and visited. Then the second time she came with weed. Ninja kamanya wanila tine chirio tine chakora tine let carry it and go. So she comes to aterwa weed. I was like, no, this feels good.
Ayokoresa ninga kareta cookies.
Kaka karia kokoresa. Ebanza yanchokinga. Oh, mwetu apa stupid tia nywe intera wena ngwanka kuri. Wande bar pro atero mutateka hogunde. Wow. Konka the effect kind of numbed the pain I was feeling.
Because
it actually started from shame. And they would ask, so madam, why you're not giving us updates? So madam, meanwhile wagambira home mwisho mbokchara yagambira some WhatsApp group yanyu ya ladies ngoriono zakushwerwa, so they are all calling you mugole now. Before you know it, you're no longer mugole.
Omuka
started with shame. Natanka here nareba widi hana ambinga that campaign. Plus of widi no baraba hota chimanyire ngubwarabaho na janta. I think this kind of thing will work for me. Hata natanka kumani mutera and etera. Remember I'm in that house thing shohora. Centers na wenye no renting. Hata nuzondi yoni India. Maria na ndetere mere. Na ndetera poka na ndetera chi sabuni chone chinkwenda. Haro mwicho na ijayo zebjaro. So I remained in that house for so long. And the longer I stayed, I was really dying. My friend is in Dubai. When I'm in Uganda, I was dying. Like I was becoming thin. Like every day I had a presence on Facebook. Until it came to a time I felt like I want to kill myself. Because there are times I would sit down and cry. Then apart, I didn't even judge you. There are times I would lay in that bed, forget to shower. Like it would take me 3 days.
3 days what now?
And think utamino, but I don't know that there is something wrong with me. It's because I'm idle. But those 3 days I used not to see how they are passing. You get?
So
anyway, it was really very weird.
Would the man check on you? Ninga kuwa tambwire kuwa arjoro munzu ye na yaje.
Not at all. Actually, the worst bit of it is he called me to talk sometime. And in our talk, I think he insulted me and added on the pain I was already feeling. Na yonjera yonila na arwara. And that's where the other disease also comes in. It finds me there, then I look for medication and I cannot find the medication. I'm depressed. Like, you know, I went to every hospital, they eliminated things that like how do you cut on the fat? How do you do this? And until I was like, why? because I remained with only, I think they used to give me diclofenac IVs just to numb the pain. Was it diclo? What are those small tablets
Diclofenac.
that were diclofenac?
Well, painkillers.
Yeah. So they used to give me the IV to just numb the pain.
So you couldn't swallow them.
They used to give me IV. Until the time until the year came to an end.
Omwaka gwona.
It was a couple of months. By the way, 2019 thing could be very useless year. So towards that.
Orukuza kuruga owagai kwakora nkomukwa kangahe?
Kwa katano kukutandika.
Washita masonde kuri.
Munywani wanje yaruga Dubai yagaruka nawe yatanka kwebuza nenche cyambireho.
Oryo munzu still.
Good enough, she was also getting married. So akanararo a boyfriend we munonga ntajugumamu. Wire bwagenda hato mu December. Nwe just a thought came, why don't you go and start the year in the presence of the Lord? Like, you know those 31st prayers? But that's how I got that healing I was talking about from that disease of swelling.
Tukagenda kumwe hariya okoine guy is this the same guy?
He is.
No yakusitsinjira mu depression. And you at one time you thought about committing suicide?
One time? A lot of times, but remember I have a daughter. So in my head nkangumaninja and that shit. Kana akasuganga.
Wouldn't people at home like parents
I used not to call them. They even actually up to now know me as a person who doesn't call home.
But did they ever get to find out? Because now we know about Afghanistan.
This story
now out of
no one knows.
No one knows.
No one.
So at okori no about Afghanistan. Omushija naza kwizo mukwezi kwa.
Of course ngabagambira nte bintu byanjire byayanga kale bye.
Now hatu wasigara wenka.
Asigara nyenka. End of year, natural, out of social media, I find another guy, ampuzia, washotomeneria pain yargaho. And somehow, I didn't have to go to rehab, I didn't have to do what, I interacted with people, nashanga bantu baruwasi, nashanga, nyona go naterera by the grace of God. Natandika relationship, and is a kachenit.
Ryaro mu COVID. Ya COVID ninyizuka turahamwe hariya omunanko omu easy view turukutera rugundu ya hanza
nizuka ngatambara naga easy view ndukta hatu nora tukatambara through tax park bus park then ogokuriya munanga mbacheta ncho chizungu
Omuchishenyi
tokwa kakoba ngani zo side za Ryan so ninyizuka agamba nagaye bugamba kangambara bushazonka. Imagine he had also as a wakara kuchiriza.
By the way,
tell your father I'm coming.
You told me ngumukam planning okora chi okuchara.
Nteshinye nomugisha ntari anajereho ntanafunundi
in a space of how long? Like
yeah.
No ogagayo kwa mufunire ogogo hatogo mu easy view.
Tarawire hona bwire bwinji
like in a month atinaza kushaka
nka 3 months atinyenda kwija wanyu atimabi yanja agumana nteka pressure manyu tera dadwawo mugambere munyenza kale no izuke turi mu COVID dada kari mu cyaro ntemba taxi nzayo mugambera hatono gayici atariyata zakariyo mukaturici dada shemererwa kombe. Anyway, for that one we used to do decoration, so you know these pillars is we take out for abagore korabam inaitwa bintu zibika in one of the rooms. So when you one danger kunka ebintu biturabicara without deep cleaning nti turizo kubona mbe baninga chinto munenzo kaneza munetura hata I start taking out things to clean them. What do I find when I lift the first pillar? Pep.
Pep.
Ati nyobuuza.
Pep ekizume kiba kulya
Ekizuma.
if you have had live sex.
Take Pep.
Take Pep. Wow, no, it's
Asa na wayambaza naye kanga okuba Pep naye yarabizi kwahukana in appearance.
Yeah, the same.
Hata nice. Sasa naye yarabizi. Kakwata ngateka henyina hari kuzwara. Ninde tujereje mbozi. Angambira what is that? Ata no Pepu, nyabichibichi, ata I went to Kampala, akaba na I'm going to Kampala to talk to this person, they want to give me a decoration deal. Konka sama odira kata zifuna. Konka kaja yakaza yoku meeting clients. They're going to give me this deal at nyabichibichi. At in one of those deals, at nkahikayona atomera. At so I've been taking paper at manya what. Immediately, why are you tolerating nonsense? Like, like what is this? I was like, no. So, I'm confronting her about the pep. And brother of Shazonka, Najanto, why? Can't I? Gamajanta, go mom, Misha, and a hori. Ajant can't I?
Or Kanga Kang.
Mtkanta home mtaboko if I spend any more minutes here. Na kwa tom hand ngondioni nta. Kuna shoromba spark na riba global bayono bapachira bari
confrontation mukajira muduka yanyaho.
Nayebuza. Kanyine tatana mawe.
Asko wabagambira ngomushari onayishi.
Nabagambire manye. Kanyine tatana mawe abwacantu n'abantu waruzuru kushota mbwenu ndi nkifuzi tinyine ho kuzati nyine nataho mu globe namugambaraga intani
okashuma
ezina benyine ndiyo nintaha
oriyo noza kakoba imwe mara
kakoba naiko muje mu bus park biteka teko byahinduka washitamo mu bus nagambaraga into banzo ko atomutwaro tayituraze kushitira ni nakwire zindi natera amasomo basindikira yakasente nagambaraga intuzi hana ngeje tekanzo kusindikira somo mpe receipt agenda nira kana agenda straight matugomuka nagambara dada na mami nebe nibyo biyeho bambe bashasha nanyu banje ngwiro ko genda beno tura na sister na ngeje mbara boje sasi iro ko tura na sister wawe. But still, that was also another door to depression. No watch or to watch or to
actually, now that one would have been worse.
But, man, you keep thinking, am I cursed? Am I... Do I have a problem with me? Meanwhile, you could know man or gambara ho they have for your telling. Yes, one so is coming home. Now, gambara band, no, Ria gambara band, by the water, neither. I actually have an again diesel, you know, come to then Nagayan diesel was a cool and kind of breaking the app. Nakuzanto kabotambara osoto buri omwe no yona kureba nateka teka to
na manyongo
and indeed that was the case because when I communicated about my kuchala this time around that there is a group of girls that asked my matron to be for kuchala or matron one nkateka to be one nkebyabwabo Bagumanu was updates. Konka beriyo, very serious. Like what they were used. Nazoko jangu nazoko chara. There is nothing that is going to happen. Tayo tinjara mukata.
Ninga so certain aunt.
I won't lie to you.
I will make sure.
Those thoughts also came. Natanga ftino mcharo, natanga connecting a dots. Konka kunko zo mcharo. Kugamba na dad intanaruga intanabubu. Natanga connecting a dots that weren't there. And indeed, towards this kuchala, I was like, Tinkaza yumchala. Like everything has to end in Kampala.
So that explains why this time you decided to go to Kampala. In the case,
let me break this pattern. It cannot happen again. And that was the case. Maybe I was serious. Maybe if they were thriving and living their best life, I would be like,
by the way, you know, we were talking and joking in Nabuza. There was a guy, isn't you see? Why would someone who has a lot of money even be depressed? Because for me, if I ever tell you I'm depressed, you know I'm innocent. Because for me, that is my only problem. You will not find me like struggling with other things.
In 2018, I had a friend who was struggling with depression, and I didn't understand. I was like, "You're taking antidepressants, Emunyankole." I'm like, heavy. Like, how? How do you get depressed to a point of taking drugs? Anshabolera za anxiety, manya schizophrenia, manya what manjantum into the forged until I had to go through it. I've actually suffered from anxiety for the longest period of time. Kungani nkukuzira ngu iwale kurebeka turi kuterwa fuka yakwitinga nono manyoti ya it's now anxiety like toka abantu oriyo ryaho atakumanya kiryo nkimuteganisa utakumanya ryaho.
So that's why, because I would wonder.
I know if I didn't have a daughter. There are a couple of times I thought about it and I'm like, then you would hear the words coming from your family members, the words coming from your village mates, the words coming from your OGs. You know, people know how to judge from a distance. Like there are days I really felt like all that
time I was
Matuga. The whole of lockdown she was in Matuga.
And
I thank God I wasn't
otakunaba for 3
mama kubora kunaba
ugote no
yenuchurota usinzire
mau
usinzire wena toro hotokumana chikujena misho wanuchoroha ndokaba kubasa kwenucha omushiza wa production we agambye one of my friends akambuga nokwe yamanzira ati monywano wanyu mwamutamuhira muheri yenzu numuza kuya mu marambo atona shiwa tukuriya kwa bakunywa atunanywa bond 7
I
actually want to do research about it. Must be a real bondage. I can't just nanywa bond 7 atana my bond 7 book na nemondi na ninja atumbwe no gweno muntu chatana muza kuya yo muntu alinga numwa kuya yo tushansha
okachitera enjaga bond 7 pok nemondi zabachiga kantori omuchiga kumara ukwira kwenganashi
kumara myezi nkena from the time I got introduced to it. Kwanka from those 31st prayers. Never do this again.
Hati 21 tureba a very beautiful girl tukutinire kugambana tukumanya everything is sorted on life yawe.
It's all, we give you what you want to see. Actually ndanyije wahaza kumpa hakantandikendere. Ndandikemboro genda nawe nyonyi nebuzubu nyondi yonifa. I have to smile, then go back to my house and suffer, and that's how most people are suffering.
Yeah,
they have social media presence when they are traveling. Before you know it,
yeah, because most of the things we don't understand, especially when it comes to depression. It is recent that for me I've come to understand exactly what people go through. Like you wonder. Like I started telling you how this Liam Payne has died. Most people are saying it's because the stories in Zijarangu, he was acting erratic, and you wonder, this is a very wealthy man. He's famous, he has a lot of money. That's why he had even gone to Argentina for, Kwehamu to chill, and now he has died. And there are certain things that people don't understand. For example, no one would understand you have been dumped. The guy who was trying to marry you has now decided to move on, and now you have that kind of thing you have to deal with, tell people. So when you see someone who has a lot of money and you wonder why Why would you even have all those?
N'abalina ebintu
There are
byokumuteganisa
certain things that maybe we don't understand.
bingi. You know the loans the person has behind that face of money you're seeing. They are battling loans this side. Buli omwe namwita omunyaji, buli omwe namweta ki, omukazi namuteganisa, abaana batandikire kunywa enjaga tibakwenda kwega. And for you seeing a happy man posing with his houses and what, and you're like, Bambi, if I was like that one. Before you know it, you want to rehab. Money can't buy everything, by the way.
So now the pastor understood what you have been. I was like, I know.
I don't know whether he understands.
By the way, also understanding is
understanding
something,
depression
is a gift.
when you haven't been through it.
Yeah, it's a gift for a few people.
That's why I told you I was mocking my friend in 2018. I'm like, umunyankore wibanda. Iwe antidepressants
no,
how? Like how? How are you doing this? It even almost hit me from Bara, but I was like,
Actually, for me, I think at this time would have been worse. It was a short time for the time you dated. But if you had dated for a long time, then
it was as if
it would.
I've seen this before and I've been through it, so no, I'm not going to go down. Like, I knew what the other one had done to me. I wasn't about to go down again.
So now, how are you enjoying life?
Yeah, I'm okay. I've been on a self-discovery journey. I've been a people pleaser for the longest time. Now I'm doing things for myself. Hey,
there is something you told me about when we in our discussion.
Problems of a friend interviewing you.
Yes, and I don't know whether it is something you are also comfortable about talking about, because it stems from the fact that for me, I would look at you and I'm like, she's a beautiful girl. Even my friends, the guys have seen me with us like, guy, you move with a beautiful girl. I know at the time you told me you didn't even understand that you are beautiful, and that even your own parents would tell you that you are.
Hey, long time. I remember one scenario. An uncle of mine came in our village. I come from Nyarushanje. So of course there is a sale, then there is our sale. It's called Kanyinya. So like my uncle comes and says, Miss Kanyinya, no gamba chi. So in the night, my sister jazzes my dad. Miss Kanyinya. Then my dad goes like, oh, Miss Kanyinya. I remember he insulted me. He's like, I took one of the reasons I believed I wasn't, like, I would look in the mirror and I'm like, but I'm too dark. Like, because of those simple words the guy said. And he mentioned some names. And I grew up looking at the people he mentioned. I'm like,
your own father saying,
what is special about them? No, Miss Kanyinya and not me.
Not you.
Like, it's a mistake to call me Miss Kanyinya. Your own parent can say something, by the way, jokingly.
So from
but I don't think that's the reason why I didn't believe. I've seen beautiful people. Like, there's no way you can tell me I'm beautiful. Up to now, there is no. I'm just fearfully and wonderfully made in the image of God. Beautiful. I've seen beautiful.
Yeah.
I've seen beautiful and I'm not close.
You still don't want to believe it.
I'm no more.
No,
I'm just someone, easy on the eye.
Someone already took that away, your self-belief. So told Miss Kanyinya, you still don't.
Even my friend kept on telling me, you're low self-esteem. And I'm like, it's not about beauty. Low self-esteem is about maybe the way I speak, the way I present myself, but not beauty. Attributing, but that's why I have low self-esteem. I've seen beautiful people. nibo barebere n'okimanyi.
So at if I have seen them and I'm saying what I'm saying, I don't know the difference.
Thank you. Thank you, my friend, for the first time.
I'm telling you, you're a very beautiful woman. And
For the first time, thank you. Thank you.
In fact, pastor should be worried. Actually, I think
You should be what?
should be worried.
What?
In fact, I think that first guy, ogogo wakusindikireka nyinya onanke egisonde kuriya umutanaba, I think he was worried. Okumukichabonire yatazire nabako muntwara.
He mentioned sometime when I almost got towards my, I think, Kuchala. He was like, you remember when I came to Mbara and met you? There's a time he came to Mbara and we shared a drink and I remember when I met you, but I'd come to ask you out again, to ask for another chance, but you had grown fat. Onkanoosha muntu yayizire obakareba ngu buriya taramaririze hata kayizire kumaririza kimwe.
Like the guys.
Look at me, my entire life. I've never been in that category of being called plus size. At I came, I think he's that, but you had grown fat.
No, but I think that guy was. But I think it was on himself.
I just laughed it off and I was like,
he had low self-esteem.
Yeah, he had it.
And I have a beautiful woman. That is what mostly guys do.
Then you marry the ugly one. Why are you hunting after the? Why are you going after the beautiful ones?
He's still hunting.
To go heartbreaking them. Yeah, he's still hunting. Na basono kusemya kata na churuka hunting echakora na picture.
By the way, but there are very many people who are actually going through the same issues. What have you learned from it, and what can we tell?
One thing I've learned is no one should put anyone down. I remember someone told my daughter recently that she's ugly because she's dark-skinned. Hi, yeah, you just sent her for a mirror. I'm like, go and bring that mirror. I'm like, look at yourself. I'm like, first smile. And she has dimples, like multiple on her chin. I'm like, look at yourself. See how unique you are. Look at, anyway. You're ugly.
By the way, that is one reason why I think.
Like, because you're dark, you're not beautiful. But mommy, there's something that keeps bothering me. I'm like, what? Am I really beautiful? I'm like, hey, you thought I'd be lying? So and so told me I'm not because me I'm dark. I'm like, then you should stop hanging out with them. Like, what?
Was a fellow child?
But older.
But no, really, omwana mutoya kigamba ngu.
Of a young maid, no mama
So if she doesn't have a strong person to support.
The effect that thing had on me from my father saying you can't be Miss Kanyinya. I was like, mwana anja kulala kujira nashia tinyatukuze.
Mwana kutera nakutandika kwetukuze.
You can't be hivyo. Auntie, you're beautiful the way you can't hati yana akunda ba Sudan. Kakula ba Sudan that make she has a perfect skin and now uli kumulamwa. Like well, then I could be hungry off to be brown, to be beautiful. So really, over the years, no one can put me down, no one can tell me nothing. I don't respond to nonsense. Things I don't believe about myself mean nothing to me now.
Muchara musumu.
Ubuzo byako.
Ubuzo tuyambwaho. No, but nanyenda kwebaza. Webale kwiza kutayira. Touch media. Waguma wafuna kire. Ogumo ijaho tutayira tuganira.